But narcissistic trans people, just like narcissistic gays, narcissistic Jews, narcissistic black or white people.
Let's talk about facts.
If you want to have intellectual discussions.
Spiritually oriented, very beautiful far
who you are beyond the personality.
I'm a human being, same as you. Be who you are.
But to answer your question,
what is really going on?
And let's get into this.
And what is happening, Wirgo? What is? Welcome to the wonderful world of Wirgo, the place where we get asked what is really going on. And in this one, we're asking what is really going on with me being a transphobe. I believe that's the word. Now, I've been told the word transphobe is somebody who is prejudiced against individuals who identify as being trans. Now, it's a strange wording of words, isn't it? It's like saying arachnophobia is somebody who's prejudiced against spiders. That'd be true, right? But why are they prejudiced? You see how people today leave out the why? Why are they prejudiced towards spiders? Well, they could be in a horrific traumatic experience as a child. It's grown a fear inside them now that may be irrational in some cases, but it's come from a rational source. I hope that makes sense. I mean, something made rational sense to this person, maybe as a child, that made them frightened of spiders. Now, there's all sorts of phobias, but we're using the word phobia for transphobia, so someone who's afraid of trans people. Now, I would class myself in there. I'm afraid of certain trans people, but it's not to do with trans, it's to do with narcissistic trans people. Empathical trans people are some of the most beautiful people I've ever met. But narcissistic trans people, just like narcissistic gays, narcissistic Jews, narcissistic black or white people, I don't know what they are, by the way. I know what you think they are, but that's stupid to me. But that's just me being narcissistic. Look, these people frighten me. And yeah, I'd say it's irrational, because this is why it's irrational, is because it's not actually the person or the people, the human being, it's the ideology within them. And that's what I see as the trans thing. So it's not a person that I'm frightened of, it's an ideology that I'm frightened of. And there's reasons to be frightened of that ideology, is because it, as much as it can have some positive effects for those going through an illness known as gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is when you're producing more energy of the opposite sex. So when females produce more testosterone than estrogen, or when males produce more estrogen than testosterone, and what happens is our mind becomes more feminine because of the hormones our body is experiencing. There's a reason for all of this, which I covered in another video. But to be frightened of these things, there's good reason to be frightened of these things. I mean, they produce all sorts of things for me specifically. For example, transgender individuals, especially the narcissistic type, do not believe in defining who they are. They believe that what they are is true, and they should be allowed to teach individuals this. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all, and there's a reason I don't believe that, is because it's confusing and chaotic, highly feminine, and it's not balanced. I'm very feminine myself. I class myself as a gay heterosexual. That may confuse others, but I'll explain it. It means my internal energies, masculine and feminine, are very balanced. I have great conversations with myself about certain things. However, I have a beautiful wife. I've had female partners. I can be attracted to males, but I'm not sexually attracted to males. I hope that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, just put it down below and I'll try and explain it better. But in general, when I find transsexual individuals, they seem to have this, I say they because I'm talking about them all, no I'm not. In general, the transsexuals by which I fear are narcissistic transgender. However, those who are non-narcissistic, more empathical, more reasonable, and will chat with you, there's no fear there. So that's where it becomes unreasonable to me to be fearful of this. So this is why I say, yeah, it is a phobia. I'm not frightened of all trans people. There's just a group of trans people that I have a great fear over. And because I have fears over these individuals, and I do not like their lifestyle, do not like their ideology, and I think it's toxic and needs to be, the ideology needs to be eradicated. The narcissism, not trans now. People need to understand narcissism needs to be eradicated to a certain level, level that's manageable, because when narcissism overpowers empathy, it runs amok. I mean, people might call it satanic will then or something. And the opposite is true, as above so below. If empathy overruns narcissism, we get a world of Luciferians, which they want to make everything perfect and orderly. And we have a war between these two individuals going on in our world at the moment. Some might call it a spiritual war. Like I said, some are not going to see that and understand what on earth I'm talking about and see this as stupid. But I'll explain more as Wirgo progresses exactly what I mean by all these things. So yeah, that's why I would class myself as somebody with transphobia, and I don't know why I'm hated on for an illness that is clearly within me, especially when I believe the illness is, I don't use the legitimate, but there's, I feel perfectly good reasoning behind the illness, and I feel that somebody needs to help me understand things before I can be healed of this. Otherwise, what's happening is that there's very same narcissistical individuals that I am very, very frightened of within the trans community will attack us and will prove to me my fears are true, and then I can't get out of it. So hopefully I can get some help there. Right. Thanks everybody, and appreciate the time. Harmony.